Engineering and Equipment Company. I'm Tim Dare along with Judd Gibb and our favorite golfer here on the tee. And of course, I think all Iowa's favorite golfer, Zach Johnson, has been very kind enough to stay on the line with us a little bit, just so we could talk a little more Hawkeye football. We got cut off there. Sorry, Zach. We had a hard break at the bottom of the hour there, but we got to finish that thought on the Hawkeyes and the coordinators and going forward. I'm with you. I think it's a fresh start. I think it's once in a while things can get a little stale. I think it might not be a bad deal.
No, I think it's a great thing. I mean, everything I've read, granted, that's really all I know, but it seems like the energy's there. The kids are excited about it. And like I said, when you have parents there directing it, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's a player's coach, but he's also, he's a great manager of his staff. And I think keeping the family intact and, the ones that left for good reasons, that's fine. I mean, they've brought in some great coaches that will lead those guys. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, and I think having his son back on staff, I think that's a diamond in the rough. People might overlook it as going on. Nepotism is just his kid coming back, but I think he's a rising star in the coaching profession that might really be better than people think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was a cerebral guy at Iowa, and I think he had a brief stint in the NFL, and then obviously coaching the NFL. He did well at New England, so I think it's a great thing. He's seen professional football, and he played college football at the highest level. So it's that's a good list of assets right there.
Now I know you went to Penn State, I think last year. What's your bucket list of stadiums? Have you been to all the Big Ten stadiums yet, or is there some you want to go to yet?
No, I haven't yet. I've been to a handful. I've been to Wisconsin. I've been to Penn State, obviously, and a couple others. I don't know. I've been to the Big House, but not for a game. That's not that high of a priority for me, frankly. The shoe is on there. I wouldn't mind going to Columbus for a game. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's a great question. I sort of like going back to Kinnick. That to me, that's kind of what I grew up doing, and that's what I love about Iowa, and hopefully I can get back there. Hopefully I can get back for the Iowa State game. I think that.
All right.
Well, I'm a little nervous about that game, as I am every year, because they're good and they got a great coach as well, and I think they're doing some awesome things. So that's always a nerve-wracking game, and but we'll see.
Well, the Iowa State game would be a good one, but also the Penn State game I saw where they're going to have – that's going to be a night game this year, and my guess is it might be a little the fans might be a bit charged up for that one by kickoff, Zach.
Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty fair assessment. Those night games always seem to get the crowds going. I mean, I don't think I've been to one in Kinnick, now that I can remember. There hasn't been many, but yeah, it's nice. I saw that pull up on the schedule. I think that's always a good thing. And having Penn State come in there, I think the fans will certainly get behind them, and I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah, I'd like to beat Big Red in Kinnick this year too.
Yes, absolutely. That one, yeah, that one. That's always an asterisk on that schedule. I'm not a huge fan of Nebraska. I mean, I appreciate what they've done, but that's one I tell you what. One of my favorite games every year. Well, it hasn't been. I'm not saying it hasn't been every year, but when Iowa State beats Nebraska, I absolutely love it. I mean, that to me, that is as good as it gets. I mean, and it's partly it's because they're always good, and that's what it is. And when you see these teams rise up to play a quality team or an opponent that has history and has won national titles and that sort of thing, you just like seeing that. I mean, I feel like Iowa's always have their back against the wall, and same thing with Iowa State. So now that we get to crack at them, we didn't get them last year, granted, but hopefully we'll get the best of them this year.
I hope so too.
Well, Zach, I was at that Iowa-Nebraska game, and it was interesting from a standpoint, and I guess I was neutral on the game, really. I took my son. I wanted him to see that, the atmosphere in Lincoln. And it was interesting in that in Iowa, it was a bigger game than in Nebraska. And I think I would love to see the Hawks beat Nebraska, only because I think that rivalry, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, could be something really, really special. But those fans, I mean, it was funny. On the way home, they complained because they didn't win by more, and Iowa fans were disappointed because they didn't win. So it was kind of a weird deal.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, Nebraska's got so much history and so much tradition. They had established rivalries, we've got. I always got a few. There's no doubt about that. But Nebraska, Oklahoma back in the day, and some of those other ones they've had. I mean, those were unbelievable rivalries, and I think Iowa fans want that with this border rivalry. I don't, but in order to have that, you said it, Judd. I think we have to win, and I don't foresee that being an issue. I think we can do it, but there's got to be a little bit of there's got to be a little bit of hostility on each sideline. So in good fun. I mean, we've got to show up and win, and maybe we got to get some plays from the Iowa State book to do it. But we can. I think we can do it. We got the talent.
Zach, obviously, I would assume that most of you guys talk a little smack when it gets to be football season and basketball season when you're out there on tour and the guys from the different, universities and conferences and stuff. Who are some of the more obnoxious, I guess, guys from the fans of certain teams that you have to deal with out there on tour?
Well, there's a few. I mean, the ones that you would label obnoxious, I don't know if that's quite the right adjective. More than anything, they're just passionate about their alma mater. I mean, granted, I didn't go to Iowa. I'm not. That's obvious. That's very obvious. I am a huge diehard Drake fan, but Iowa football was something I grew up with. It was part of my family. It's in the fabric of the Johnson family, if you will. So. But those guys on tour, I mean, they're the ones that they went to that school, and the David Times for LSU, DeMarco for Florida. You look at like Duffner for Auburn, and they're and the list goes on and on. I mean, they're not obnoxious. They're just passionate about their team, and that's beautiful. I mean, that's the way it should be. And there's a lot of Texas fans on tour. I tell you what, because of just what's going on, a lot of Clemson and Oklahoma State fans. Both have great programs in golf and in football now. So, those two schools have a great allegiance, I guess, with their alum. So yeah, there's a number of players that once September hits, we're fighting for the FedEx Cup. We've got a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup coming, but ESPN College Game Day isn't too far behind.
Zach. We'll let you go here, but one last thing is, first of all, Nick Faldo at the end of the Heritage said, "Watch out for you the next couple months." So he's got some good vibes about you and what's coming up here. So hopefully that'll work out as a savvy prediction maybe. But anyway, your top 50 streak. Is like the fourth best, I think, of anybody in the top 50. You've been in there the longest time period. That's got to be very satisfying for you. And, with the world rank up to 28th now, you don't have to worry so much about, you're already in the U.S. Open with those kind of rankings. It gets you into a lot of events. I mean, that's got to be pretty satisfying for you as far as looking at your career as a whole.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, I want to get it up there. There's no question about that. I know you guys know that. I want to continue to improve and continue to get more consistent. But I think I just said, I mean, the consistency that we've had since, essentially 2007 has been great. I mean, what it does is it just tells me that I'm doing the right things on the golf course, off the golf course, and I've got the right team assembled. I've got great guys and a support staff. With my coaches, with my sponsors, certainly with my family, and but I say all that, I know that, and I'm proud of that, and I'm certainly grateful for that. But I'm never content. I mean, I just want to get better, and hopefully this is one step in that direction. And I mean, I got to win in order to get better. In order to climb the ranks, you have to win, and you got to be in contention a lot. And so that's kind of my outlook. But I'm just going to continue to work and let things fall where they fall. I can't get too worried about things.
Well, let's hope you make that Ryder Cup in Chicago. That would be awesome if you were on the team there, and being so local, it would be a wonderful, wonderful setting. I know you have to take it. You can't really look at that. You just have to play and hope it ends up there. But I'm with Nick Faldo. I got good vibes on you, Zach. I think you're going to get a victory here relatively soon.
Well, I hope so. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you
I'm
so much
excited
for
about it.
thank you so much for staying on with us for so long, and good luck. And you know it's a Drake Relays weekend, so it's going to be
Yeah.
raining here. So
Yeah, I miss those days. That's always a lot of fun. I know Drake's excited about it. They got some great talent coming in, so wish I was back home.
thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, yo. Thank you.
And good luck.
Thanks. Take care.
Yep, Zach Johnson, and we're way late for the break, so let's take one and come back. You're on the tee.